Aquariuses, this summer, I think you're gonna find love. I think summertime for Aquarius is very much love induced. It
Mm,
does, and those who are single or really find the passion for love in that sense when it comes to people, and intimacy. Not we're good at, Aquarians are good at the love on the projects, love of the world, but I think love of intimacy is going to resurrect this summer. So it's gonna be very romantic, I would say, for Aquarians
mm.
in the summer with those who are seeking it. Those who are in relationships is going to heighten. But at the same time, those who are not really in love is going to break away very, very abruptly. So that's the kind of the dichotomy there, on that sense. But even other relationships that are unconditional will also work out and grow and put in the proper place if it's loving, truly love. So a very good intimate spark, a very good intimate, almost like Aquarians receiving the love and allowing that receptivity of love is going to be a very great expression so they can actually express it in return effectively. So I think Aquarians are going to find a balance, actually, believe it or not, which hearing this scares me a little bit. Um, and
Wicked
so
webcam on you.
And so those who are not really seeking relationships, I do find some travel with Aquarians a lot more and getting out of their comfort zone actually. And a lot of things will be manifesting for Aquarians this year that will be taking them out of their norm.
Yeah.
A lot of them, and I feel like Aquarians might even be moving now, if and not during the summertime. There's gonna be some moving. I think a lot of Aquarians will be moving before summer. I just feel like there's shit
Relocating.
relocating, finding a new home, the luxury aspect, I think, and something I've been actually tapping into, like increasing the luxury aspect of things. So I feel like that's also a collective desire for the Aquarians too for this summer, and really kind of putting themselves first. And so I think others will be putting themselves first too. So yeah, as far as those creatively Aquarius not seeking relationships, I think a lot of the artistic expressions will be manifested. Music. I'm a musician, but I'm not saying because I'm a musician. I feel there are a lot of musicians who are Aquarians and writers and film producers and makers. I think there's a lot of that. And I don't mean to generalize. I'm really intuitively feeling that a lot of them will get these stories told. So for me, it's about getting stories told and getting their point of view to be actually receptive by the masses and owning it and being proud of it. So that's for those. And I think that can go again with those who are seeking and not seeking relationships. That would be kind of a collective with Aquarius. So interesting to read my own sign and seeing things I didn't expect, but also good confirmation for me.
Good affirmation. I
Affirmation.
concur. Yeah, well, Pluto in their sign, they're finally, I think, feeling strong with boundaries for the first time, like with themselves. I think that's always been the problem. I think they've just ghosted and disappeared or avoided or and now that they have the power of boundaries to say no and not worry about it, it opens up a whole new world.
Right.
Black Moon Lilith is in Virgo, which is their eighth house. So they're facing fears of intimacy right now.
Yeah.
I think Aquarius has been afraid of being taken over by their lovers,
Mhm.
being smothered, being trapped. These are like
Mhm.
some of their classic fears that they have, and those
Right.
fears are drying up now. I think they're starting to
Right.
feel like
They
because
are.
of the boundary stuff, they realize they can just say no, or they can just put up front what their boundaries are
Right.
and see if the person stays or not. But you're right on. Jupiter in Gemini is their house of love.
Mhm.
So this is a once every 12-year transit for Aquariuses to first fall in love with themselves, which is the
Right.
biggie you didn't mention. I think that's what's really happening under the
Oh, I
scenes.
did. I
Okay.
mentioned, yeah, I
Okay.
mentioned love for the self too, so you can express it, be able to express it. So yeah, I did.
Okay, fair enough. I might have
Yeah.
spaced out there or blocked it in my own denial.
It's
I
okay.
have
I talk a
Aquarius in
lot.
the seventh house. So I do think that they're going to fall in love with themselves. And I also think that's their expression for art. I agree. Saturn and Pisces in their second house is it's time for them to get out there and start making money with what they do. So I
Right.
think they're feeling love for themselves. They're feeling loved for the universe,
Right.
and they're starting to open up to like closeness and tenderness. You know,
Yes.
it's weird with Pluto and Aquarius. We're seeing a push for Leos to act a little bit more like Aquarians and Aquarians to act a little bit more like Leos. We're seeing
Leos.
kind of
Yep.
this push for this opposite where the
Yes.
Aquas are getting sappy and the Leos are sort of straightening up in their chair a little bit,
Right. Right.
which is
True.
kind of interesting.
Very true. Yeah.
So we'll see if I'm very curious. I've never seen an Aquarius in love. Well, either because they hid it, they're very, formal and didn't share it, not because it wasn't happening, but because it just wasn't something you saw in public. I don't think I've ever seen an Aquarius kiss somebody. I'll have to think about it. Not even Jennifer Anderson, for instance. Like, right? Like, have you seen a love scene with her? Nope.
No.
Recently,
Well,
actually, in
yeah,
her
kind
last
of. I
series.
mean,
A
yeah, I
little
think
bit. I
so.
mean, even
We
with
we
Brad
give we
Pitt, it's
give pieces of it. We give little like, here, we'll show a little bit, but not too much. We'll show your nipple, not the full breast, right? So,
right,
um,
exactly. There'll be a hint
so
of it.
a hint of
Well,
it.
I think we're gonna see a lot more of it. I think we're gonna see a lot more nipples. I think we're gonna see a lot. I think we're gonna see a lot. I think we're gonna see Jennifer Aniston. Actually, in her last series, she's starting to open up and show her side. Like she was married to Brad Pitt, and
Right,
they look like friends walking down together.
right.
I never saw them as touchy, kissy, huggy. But I think we're gonna see that juicy Aquarius. So this, I think, will be. I will say for Aquarius, is this might be literally a summer of love,
Yeah,
and I think that they're not really used to letting love take over their life. So there's a
right.
lot of getting used to that.
Yeah,
um, I don't know if it'll last, right, long term per se, because like some Aquariuses might need to just get in the pool, swim
right.
around a bit, and see what it feels like. But definitely by 2025, I think they're going to know where they are when it comes to love, for
I
sure.
agree. I can see that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. So yay for the Aquariuses. I'd say they're one of the hottest tickets this summer, and probably very good for Gemini's. By the Gemini and Aquas would do pretty well. I would just
Yeah,
put them up there.
I agree. It's
But
always that's always kind of a traditional match for, Geminis and Aquarians.
yeah, well, yeah, and but now they're both sort of timed for it. It's timing for both of them, I would
Right,
say.
right.
They're both timed. And stay away from the Virgos,
What do you
Geminis.
think about
Okay.
like Aquarius and Sagittarius in that sense too?
That's interesting. Do I see those a lot? Yeah, I see those. I've always seen them like buddy. To me, they're like similar characters in
I'm
the
saying in the
party.
shift. I'm saying in the summertime. What do you think is the change you see in the summertime? You know what I'm saying? What do you see about like that? Do you think that would be potential for Aquarius and a Sag in the summertime?
I would have to get like a National Geographic camera and film it. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that. I'm totally willing to do that study. So if you, theoretically they go well together. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, their energy sextile. So they're kind of, they've always been sort of friends, and it's sort of like friends that slept together.
yeah,
That's how I put
exactly.
it. It's like suddenly two friends are, it's sort of like a When Harry Met Sally situation.
Right,
I think that would be Sag and Aquarius. Like
right.
it could work, yeah, but
I only reference that 'cause I'm like it seems like summertime they're all Aquarius, Gemini's, and Sages are all like kind of looking for that seriousness, right? So I wondered like how that would pan out if that would even work because that similarity. It might work and then become a disaster, but I just you never know.
it'll be cordial. There'll be no hard words as they say goodbye forever.
Maybe a handshake. Yeah.
Yeah, they can have crazy wild sex and then shake and say, "That was fun. Nice to meet you." Like, kind of thing.
Good job.
They're both adults about these types of things. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, it's not their first rodeo,
You
for
mean
sure.
transactional. That's what you really mean. They're very
It can
transactional
be.
about these
It
things.
can be, but with
Yeah.
a cultural understanding of one another. Like,
Right. Yeah.
they're both kind of cultural icons. They usually take each a corner. If you go to a party, there's like an aqua in that corner with a circle, and
Right.
there's like a sag in that corner with that circle. Usually those corners don't talk.
Yeah.
So
It's true.
again, it'd be fascinating. Yeah, it'd be
True.
fascinating to see.
Yeah.
It's a new era. We never
I
know.
I feel like because something within me feels like it's like the dynamics you wouldn't think that would collide, I see colliding for some reason. I see a lot of those, boundaries being broken. That's why I question that, because I feel like a lot of, like, unexpected connections will start colliding, you know what I'm saying? And that
Gotcha.
makes sense. If the species is evolving, then of course we gotta kinda, evolve and find different aspects and corners of our species that we can connect with and understand, I would say. So I think
Yeah.
actually my prediction is there'll be a lot of those colliding of different, energies in that sense and weird compatibilities, connecting that you wouldn't expect. I think there'll be a period of that.
I don't disagree. I mean, with Pluto and Aquarius, it's anything goes.
Right. Woo
And
woo.
I think we have major gender fluidity right now. We have
Yeah.
major personality fluidity. It's like, really, you're right. We're probably about to see stuff we never imagined. We're definitely
Right.
breaking all of our classic stereotypes,
Right.
100%.
It's serious, John.